Good day, everybody, and in this lecture, we are going to design a calculator. It's a simple calculator, and I'm just going to show you the logic behind this calculator. It's in Visual Basic 2017, and we all know how calculators appear. Let me call it the design. This is a simple calculator, and this simple calculator can be represented as this. So you have a button for clearing, you have the numbers, you have again these operators here, you have an equal sign, and then you have a screen here. So let's say you are trying to add something or multiply something. So ideally you will get the answer come there, and then you will clear. And actually that is more or less what I'm going to do in this lecture. I want it to be short, quick, and straight to the point. So just before we go far, let's first know the requirements. Requirements for this, for making this digital calculator. So maybe I can state this one. We might have two categories or three, depending on what you want. We have a design category whereby we are going to either need things to do with the controls. And then in this case, controls, we might need a button or buttons, and then we might need a text box. Yes, I think these are the most important ones. And then apart from sorry, let me just have it this way. Yes, apart from controls, we might again need to use some operators. So we know the arithmetic operators. That's very important, and they include the plus, okay, arithmetic, and yeah, the plus, comma, the minus, comma, the division, comma, and then the multiplication. Yes, we might also have this equal sign operator. So this is another operator that we might want to include. It helps us in performing arithmetic operators, but you know, we can classify it differently according to our last class. And yes, other than operators, I think what else would we need to design our calculator? We can talk about an icon. We can have a calculator having an icon. That's very important. Now for the code section, we can decide to have some variables. I know by now we know what's a variable. Is a placeholder. It's something like a store, something that will store some value to be used some other times later, and that's how we're going to bring up the logic. Apart from variables, we are going to use control structures, and in this case, I think using of the if, else, or nested if, else if, or else if, something close to that, so that we can ask many questions. You can use any control structures based on how easy you find it coding here. Apart from control structures, yes, I will just need to write some simple code, something to help us illustrate our point. So I think this is all that we need. So once we have this, let me just bring this calculator once again here. Once we have this calculator, then it means that we have the controls here, and then we have a text box here, and then we are going to code what is there. I think that's the simplest thing that we're going to do. So without much delay, let's go into Visual Basic. Visual Basic is right here, and in this time we can be able to adjust the form so that we can make it look the calculator that we always get in either XP or Windows 7 or the early Windows operating systems. But nonetheless, you can design it the way you want. So for example, we might want to have a text box. This text box is what is going to display our information. Now let's have it at that. No, that's not bad. And then we are going to have buttons. Now these buttons of course can be resized to a good size that of course you think would make your work look nice, something close to that. Yeah, I have copied and pasted, so I am getting button 2. Let's talk about us having about 15 buttons or 16. Okay, there I am. Right, around 15. So what we are going to do, we are going to arrange them. So the good thing is that right now they are just named like that. Okay, we can decide to have our 1 down there, 13, then we can have a 12 here, and then an 11 here, then a 10 here. We can decide to have either a 9 coming there, an 8 coming there, a 7 coming there, and then a 6 coming there, 5 coming there, 4 coming there, 3 coming there, 2 coming there, and the 1 coming there. Right, okay, and I think I am missing alright, that's better. I am missing okay, a few buttons. So we need 0 to 9, so these are going to form that part. 0, I need to either put this one here as a 0. 0 to 9, here we have them, and then we have the 4 operators: addition, multiplication, division, subtraction. Okay, yes, after that we'll remain with 2. We can have 1 for clearing the screen, and another one to have an equal sign, and this also can also have its role somewhere. Good. So I think right now, let me just reduce this a little bit that way. Yes, and then this also can also be reduced this way. Okay, so I think I start by just giving names to these buttons, and of course their display. Now let's have this as a 0. So this one is going to be 0. Now the name given to this, we can have button 0. 0 like that. There it appears. And then this is 1. So we can just have it given this name as button 1. Sorry, button 1. and that's its name. And when we come down here, we're going to say 1, and then right here button 2, we have a 2 here, and then if you go up here, it's button 2, and then we'll keep on doing that until we come to the end. This 3, and then I think we can do that, and then this 4. Let me just check the name of 3. Okay, and then we have 5 here. That's the name. It's good for us to name these controls, because when it comes to programming and we have got so many controls, it becomes a problem to locate what you want. So this is 6. We will go to text here, and then the name, we can name it button 6. And then we have a 7 here. Then we have 8 here. Let me just go to 7 to make sure I gave it. Yes, the name is there. And now this is button 9. Button 9. There we are. So at least we have all these buttons here. Now let's have this as our C1 for clearing. Let's have it as a capital C like that. Alright, sorry, let's just call it button C. And then we go to the text down here. We can have it as capital C. That will appear there. Excellent. And let's have this 14 as our equal sign. So we go to the text here, and then we put the equal sign like that, and then we'll go to the name option, and then we can call it button equals. Yes, so that's our equal sign. And then let's have this 4 as our 4 arithmetic operators. So this can be the addition. So button addition, and we can come right down here and put a plus sign there. Then we can come to subtraction. If we start with the text, we have to put the minus sign there. Then we'll go up here and subtraction or sub, whichever name you want to give it. And then this is multiplication. Button multiplication. If you come down here, you can put the asterisk sign there. And then this, finally, we have our division sign coming here. You can put that slash there, and then this is a button division. There we are. So I think ideally we have all our controls named. As I click here, you should be seeing that the name is changing here. So this is Very good. This is very, very good. Now, for example, this border style here, you can see it's fixed. You can allow it to be multi-line if you want to make it a scientific calculator or something like that, or you can come here to the border style, and then you can see if you want to say fixed single or none or something like that, and then you can see whether you can work around it and see whether you can make it something else. So there are so many options. You can make it bigger, smaller, or something like that. So ideally we have our calculator ready. So this is close to what we always see. Okay, so let me just get this thing back to what it previously was, and it was 3D, it was border style B, yeah, it was a fixed 3D, something like that. Yeah, so this is our form. So if, for example, we run it here, you would see that our calculator will pop up, and here it is. So this is our calculator. So let's note that the calculator right here doesn't work because there is no code inside, and that's what we are going to do. We are going to code for each of these controls. I'm going to do it as quickly as possible. Now, we'll also, at some time, if you want, we can change the icon here. We talked about coming up with an icon. Remember, we did write it somewhere here that an icon. So we have controls there, we have operators, and we have an icon. So what you can do, you can always go to Google and download icons.ico, not .jpg or png, no, .ico. That means that it's an icon. For example, in my case, I already downloaded one, so I can just come click on this form, and then I can come to icon here, and then I can go and select the icon. I renamed this icon ksu.ico. So this is our calculator. So if we run the program, we're going to have our program having our icon right there. It's right there. And then if you want to change this form, this name here, you can always change it to something that you would like. So because this is a form, you click on the form, and then you can always change the name of the form, and of course you will have a good name show up there, and that of course can be done at any time or even later. So you don't have to have something known as form 1 or something like that. You can just call it as a calculator, something close to that. So if it's a calculator, all right, sorry, this is the name of the form. We've already changed it like that, but then you can always go down to where we always get the text, and then we can change it, not form 1, then you can just write it here, calculator, and then we can say it's a KSU calculator, KSU or calculator, no problem, it doesn't matter. So right here we have the name. So if it runs, let me just change this form to form 1, this form to form 1, so that we don't get lost along the way. But you can give this form any name, form 1, so just for simplicity's sake. So it's form 1, but then the name that will appear here is KSU calculator. So this is our calculator that is going to appear. So it's going to work with all these controls. So let's start with the easiest control. Now, the easiest thing, for example, is to clear or to clean things. Now, I didn't rename this because it's only one text box, so it's easy for us to always reference it. So in this case, we have it as text box 1. That's what I'm going to use. So this clearing button, it needs to clear whatever content is in text box 1. So if I just go, for example, right inside this control, So what I need to code here is an instruction to clear. To clear what? To clear the text box. So we have text box 1. It's right there. Dot. We have a function which is called as clear. Clears all the text from the text box control. Let's use this one. If we use this one, then we are likely to have something happen. So that means, for example, if we run our program, which has only one line of code, which is this KSU calculator, if, for example, I'm typing using my keyboard, but I'm not using this one because these ones are not functioning right now. So if I click clear here, it's supposed to clear the contents there. So that's what we've just done. Right, so that was nice, and we are already done with this. Now, I want us to go back and remember something that we talked about, variables. But then before we go to variables, I want, whenever I click 1 is what is represented here. 2 is what is represented here. In our very first or second lecture, we mentioned about an operator, which is an ampersand, which helps us, of course, display information. That one is what we're going to use here. Now, for example, I'm going to click on this control here. And this control is the first, or I can even click this one 0 here. If I go to 0 right here, let me see if I can uncollapse this so that, yes, we have more space. This is button 0, meaning that if I have a number I want to press, let's say it's 500, so 500, so the 0 should be able to appear there. So it is going to use this simple code. Text box 1 is equals to text box 1 dot text. We are going to show text there, but now we want to append a number there, and that number is going to be the 0. So then that means that in text box 1 we have a number which is 0. It's like a string. Also, you see I put in so, but then that's what is going to be stored there. Now, for example, now if I run this small program of ours, I click on this 0 right here, a 0 comes here, another 0, another 0, another 0. All right, so the zeros are coming. So I am displaying a number that appears on a button on the text box, and that can also be cleared. So this same code that has brought up this can be used for all these other controls, but we're just going to change the numbers that are going to come after that. Now let me do that one quite fast. So I'm just going to take the longer route. Now this is 1. I will double click on 1. So we are right here, button 1. So I'm going to say textbox1.text is equals to textbox1.text and 1, meaning we're going to have a 1 show up there. So this is what we're going to do. We click this one. That's all. So we have button 1 there, but we have also button 2. You can come here and say button 2. Yes. And then you can start the code. But as I said, I'll go the longer way by clicking. There we are. So if, for example, I just copy this, copied, and I paste it here, and then I change this value here. So 2 is going to be displayed on the text box. and if there's another 2 that is going to come after that, it's still going to be displayed. So that is what is going to happen. And I come back here and then I double click on 3. I get to button 3. I do that. I do that. I do that. So I just want to move faster for us to finish this thing as quickly as possible. And then we have 4 there. This is button 4. And then we have button 5. Coming there, button 6, and then button 7, is there, button 8, and then button 9. Right, so our first major task is done. So right now we can run a program to see if there's any error. No error. It's all green right here all the way down. And of course this one has already popped up. We have our calculator here. So this is our calculator. Now for example, let's see, a 0 is there, a 1 is there, a 2, a 3, a 4, sorry, that's a 6. Right, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These ones are yet to work. So we are done with the almost 70% of our work. So we can clear this. So that is how we display the text on the button on the text box. The value of the button, or the value of the number on the button on the text box. Right now we want to see how these operators are going to work and how this is going to work also. Now let me explain before we go there. The logic in this very simple calculator is that each time we press numbers here, each time we press these numbers, they are stored as first number. So they are taken to a variable first number. And then when we click an operator, then we have an opportunity again of adding other numbers which will be stored as second number in a different variable. And when that is done, when we press equal sign, then this function or this control is supposed to check which operator was used. And based on the operator that was used, if it is addition, then we are going to have the first number variable and the second number variable added. If it's a subtraction, divided. If it's a multiplication, multiplied. If it's a division, it's divided. And if we do that here, then our calculator will be done. Now let me close this one and state one thing. We are going to declare these variables as global. So, and we're going to have them somewhere at the public section. So they're going to be accessed by any control or any control anyway in the program. So if I close here now, I go to the form. Now this is a form, so we're already done with almost this. So we want to come to here, but before we put these controls, let's have our variables. Now we can go to this coding section. You can see we have a public section here, form 1. Let me make more space there. We can declare global variables here and they're going to be used wherever or anywhere in this program. And now let's have our first first number as a, let's have them as string, so that if you have a long number which would decimal or something like that, there's no problem. But then in this case, we take them in as string and then we'll manipulate them and then we'll get the answer. Now, and then dim second number as string, dim answer number as a string. So we have the first number stored, the second number stored, and then when we are doing the arithmetic operation, this is the result is stored in answer number. And once we have the result stored in answer number as a third variable, now the final result, we will get our answer on the text box by assigning the values in the answer number into the text box. Yeah. So dim arithmetic process right. Arithmetic, no, I didn't write arithmetic, no problem, let's just have it that way. But let's remember that throughout the program we're going to have that. Now, so this arithmetic process, it means it's either an addition or a subtraction or something like that, and that is very important to us. So this is good enough. We can just see that we have about 4 variables. Now what we are going to do, we are now going straight into our controls. So once we have our controls there, it's going to be easy for us to know what we're supposed to do. All right. Now, so as I did mention that we punch in numbers, when we go to a control, we store that information in some value. So let me go here, let me double click here. So this is the addition button. So this addition button now, we're going to code it this way, and I'm going to explain. First number, we already have it somewhere. Yes, it's a variable globally declared. First number is equals to the val. Now that string will be converted into text. Val is equals to text box 1 dot text. Now this text means that when we press add, anything on text box 1 converted into integer stored into a variable first number. But then there we're just having it as a string, then it's converted into integer. Now that is what happens. Now when that is done, you can decide to have your screen go blank or a 0 appear there, so that you have an option of entering the second number. So you can now say text box 1 dot text is equals to, you can put it either blank like that, or you can put a 0. We can change it later on and then we'll see what happens. Okay, that is it. And now in this case, the arithmetic operation here has to be, arithmetic process here has to be an addition sign. So this is very important. We'll see it as we will be writing our control structure. So here we are now. So if, let's just run our program to see if there is any errors coming here. So this is the arithmetic operation for add. Now let's see what I was trying to talk about. It is, let's say we want to add 12 plus 12. So this is 12. When you press plus here, all the information is stored in a variable first number. And what comes next is this text box here showing 0, meaning it's ready to allow you to enter the next number. So in this case, we can now enter 45, for example. 12 plus 45 is equals, now we're yet to get there. But now, if anything coming before 0 is the same thing, just for us to understand the concept, we'll keep on the zeros and then later on we'll remove them. 0.45 is still 45. Now let's now do that for all the controls. That's quite simple. If I'm doing it for all the controls, then I can as well as copy this code. This was for addition, but now I can go to subtraction, double click like that, paste it there, change this arithmetic process to be minus. Then I can go right here and click there, paste it there, change this one to be an asterisk or a multiplication sign. And then finally I can come here and paste this one and state that this is going to be a division. So far we have our calculator ready here. So it is 789 plus 1, 2, 3, something like that. Something's not happening because this is the final thing we are going to code. Once we code this, we'll take care of this 0 and then we'll see how our calculator works. Right. Now, already we've coded almost everything except one, which is the equal sign. When we press the equal sign, then of course we will have it find out which operator was being used. If it's an addition, it gets the value from variable 1 and variable 2 and performs the operation there. Now in this case, let me just double click on this equal sign. Yes, this button equals. So this is the very last one, and we're going to use a control structure here. And please pay attention. We already know that we have a second number, and of course the first number is already stored somewhere. So second number will be stored, of course, when we were writing the first number and then we added a plus, we use a control there, a 0 came. So the number that we're getting in the second time was what? Was the second number. So, and that second number can be gotten from the text box. Yes, our only text box 1. Now once we have now the second number stored, now we can now use a control structure. If control structure to find out which process it was, and based on that we get the process done. So we can say this: if arithmetic process is equals to a plus, then, you know, when you use if, there has to be a then coming in. Then that means that answer number is equals to first number plus second number. That's it. So if the process was addition, so the first number, second number are added and stored into answer number. That's what I mentioned. Now, because we want to check for all the controls, no, all the operators, operations, either multiplication, addition, or subtraction, I'll again say else if arithmetic process is, let's say it's a minus, then answer number is equals to first number minus second number. Else if arithmetic process is equals to multiplication, then answer number is equals to first number multiplied by second number. Else if arithmetic process is equals to a division sign, then answer number is equals to first number second number. So we have a code that is going to test what operator is there, and based on that it will perform the action on the values inside the variables, whether it's addition, subtraction, multiplication, or subtraction or addition, or multiplication or division. Now, once that is done, the very final thing, you end the control structure or the loop, and then you say now text box 1 dot text is equals to answer number. So that is what is going to get us the information. Once this is done, your calculator is ready for deployment. Let's first run it and see if it's going to work. Let's first run it and see if it's going to work. There we have a KSU calculator. 12 plus 12 is equals to 12, 12, 12, 12. What happened? We didn't convert something into integer. So that is our first point of reference. And I just want to go through the text so that I can make sure that through the code that we don't get 12, 12. 12 plus 12 should be 24. Right. Good. Right. Quite fast. Answer number. Second number, first number, val text box first number, val text box first number, val. Val of text box. first number. One text box, one second number. So first number, second number. Yes. It's val shall ideally. Yeah. 12 plus 12 is equals to. So let's go to the addition. Code. Let's see, 12 minus 3. Okay, it's 9. Subtraction is okay. Let's go to 12 times 3. These are the 6, that's okay. Let's go 12 divided by 3. That's 4. Okay, so the addition has got something. So let's go there. The other ones are okay. Let me just double click here, tap. Addition. Okay. Let me just try something here. Let's just try it that way and see if it's going to work. 12 plus 12 equals 24. Alright, it has worked. But and then let's cancel here. 25 plus 6. This one, excellent. Now it's working. Now ask me, Mwalimu, why did you do that? And the rest have not done that. Apparently, maybe somewhere in my code, there's somewhere where this value was not converted. If you get it, please get to me. But then I think the logic here is well explained. Now let's go to the issue about the zeros. Now I was just trying to show you that it doesn't look nice when it appears like this. That 7 times 07 is equals to 49. No, it's better 7 times 7 is equal to 49. So this is a local way of doing things, but then you can remove these zeros. But ideally, there are so many other functions like trimming functions that can help you to trim the first character or integer that is going to come in a text box or in any place in programming, also in Visual Basic. If you read the notes that I gave, you will get it there. So once we remove all these zeros, it means that when you get to enter the second number, it's going to be blank. So I think I removed the zeros available there. So here we are. Yes, so we have 7 times, it's blank, 7 is equals to 49. Good. 0. Or 12 times 20, it's just random, is equals to 240. Times 240 times 2 is equals to 480. Times 2, 480, 960. All right, like that. Then we can always clear. And now this means that our project is done. We have our simple calculator here with our name, then with our icon here, with few controls here, and we can make this executable so that somebody can install it in your computer. That you can do it by going to YouTube and getting the information there. Otherwise, thank you. And for the code, you're going to get it in the attached in the notes or in the LMS, and you can try it. And please add more controls for square root, for square, or for logarithms, and many other options available in scientific calculators. And from there, you will understand that it's possible to really make your own calculator, digital calculator, simply by writing the code. Otherwise, thank you.